Welcome to the General's Gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blake has survived. He has managed to return in good form.
It's very exciting. Yeah, in almost perfect form. I'm not even on any painkillers at the moment. They really give me the edge that I need to cast. So yeah, I'm keen to be back and casting. My teeth are removed. My casting skills
All of them
remain intact. So oh yeah, all of them. I'm a Collingwood supporter now, didn't you know? Australia-specific jokes aside, we are here for the rest of the series between Herb and Curious. Curious is currently up 3-1 in the series machine.
Yeah, he is. So he's only one game away from his victory. And this time around, he's going to be the China Tank, and Herb was the GLA Toxin.
Very hype. Looking forward to it. Solid tunnel network placement here. The nice, safe one.
Not within range. One of the things that you often... Oh, look at this, though. Curious knows. He knows that, you know what? My opponent is probably building a tunnel next to my base. And I think that's really good play from both of our players here, Herb and Curious. Because Herb built the tunnel where he knew it wasn't within vision range from the supply and the dozer. And yet Curious just had the sense. He's obviously played this matchup. He's played this map quite a fair bit. He knows how common it is for the tunnels to be built up here by the GLA. So already having that factory as well. So probably going to be putting some mines down there later on as well.
Ends up being a nice way to block off the approach to that second supply machine. So what's Dragon Tank start coming out here for Curious. Going to be rolling that one through. A nice way to deny early forward tunnel network. So certainly is what we're seeing here. One of them going to be going down. Technical sneaks through onto the supply trucks, however.
The tunnel will finish. It's only some tech RPGs, so we can't do much about this Dragon Tank. Mine's a little bit late. Won't quite get the tech RPG, but it's going to be swept by the worker. Only gets one of them, though. But he's opened up a path, at least, for a future tech terror if he remembers it. But either way here, Technical going to be taking out the second truck, maybe even the dozer as well. Dozer, I think, is a little bit more durable, though.
Yeah, no rocket damage. When the technicals are triple scrap, they tend to do a lot of damage against the dozers, obviously switching into those rockets, but just the single scrapped gun isn't amazing.
Depends on the weapon type. I think the scrap one is still the gun or the bullet type, where dozers have a pretty high resistance to it, whereas then against rockets, they die very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And then the scrap two, I'm pretty sure would turn into a rocket, and either way, it does a lot of damage to it. So, nice Dragon Tank. He's got this arms dealer and the supply as well. Hopefully he firewalls here in time, though. There's 3 Scorpions in position.
Firewall's coming through. Manages to secure all of the workers. It's an interesting play, and actually kills the arms dealer. That's a huge blow for Herb, especially given he's going into Scorpion production here. Having the arms dealer up is crucial. It was a cool play there. Curious actually drove in the supply truck. It was maybe looking for worker crushes / distracting the Scorpion so the Dragon Tank could sneak through. Nonetheless, he is a long way from home and he's still doing work.
What I actually really liked about the micro there from that Dragon Tank is that Curious recognized that he wasn't going to get both the supply and the arms dealer because of how close the Scorpions were. So instead, he re-firewalled so it would only hit the arms dealer to do more damage. Because the initial firewall, it was only half hitting the arms dealer. So by doing that, it guaranteed that he would finish off the arms dealer while still getting all those workers.
So, thankfully, Herb, in a fairly good cast position, he is able to instantly restart arms dealer production. Going to be throwing another one of those down. It should be finishing fairly shortly, and at least Scorpion rockets were done. So this army isn't useless against those Vet 2 vanilla Battle Masters coming out from Curious.
Very important because of how long the research time is, that if the arms dealer was killed before that, it would have set Herb back quite a fair bit. Oil cap is on the way here for Herb. None of the sort for Curious.
No indication so far. Just sticking to that double War Factory production machine. Chilling on double supply. So Herb looking good. With the oil cap coming down, his arms dealer being finished off as well. We didn't really see Curious having the opportunity to press his advantage.
Double scrap Scorpion. Nice bunker there by Curious. Will protect his power. Gonna make it a bit harder for the Scorpions to be aggressive. Where's his barracks?
No barracks.
Oh, the outposts,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
That's where they came from. So third supply here as well. Another bunker. There's a barracks here.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, the RPGs there away from the outpost by the looks of it. Gives a fair bit of sight range too, just leaving that scout post there. So I wonder what Curious's playstyle here is. Will he go maybe for autoloaders and just spam a lot of battle masters? No, he's going for the airfield, so looking for a helix.
I've always been a fan of the horde bonus push timing from China Tank. And that is, you kind of build up enough of an army to get the horde bonus on these battle masters, and then you just push out and you try and clear out tunnel networks. I think we see a lot of China Tanks building up too big of an army, whereas I'd say this is probably the strongest timing attack that you can do as a China Tank player, is to build up enough tanks for a horde bonus, and then shove your way through tunnel networks. This is a very dangerous army, and it's quite hard to deal with. So,
especially since the palace isn't done just yet.
Yeah.
And the garrisons are a little bit of a problem, but that's why he's sending in the dragon tank here to clear that out. So this could actually just end the game. This is a really scary army here. The only downside is he's lacking anti-infantry. He has one Gatling tank and one dragon tank. I suppose when you have that many battle masters, you can just burst down RPGs if there's only a few of them. And so we actually have a fair bit of RPGs being massed up here. So I like this response from Herb. Will it be enough though?
yeah, I'm not sure, Machine. Could definitely see some production structures going down. I'm not sure why they're... Oh, Gat's in front, though. The Gat can't take damage. It's crucial against the RPG pops.
Yeah, this probably isn't going to end very well, I don't think, for Curious here. There's just too many RPGs. That's a Stinger side as well. He may get at least some of the tunnels down, though, which is important. But the thing is with this push is he's not going to go for the third supply. He won't go for the oil either. So it's not really the best target. Nice flank attack here from Herb. There's of course no rear armor in 0 Hour, but it does catch the battle masters in a single file formation, which is not the best file formation, to disappoint some of you.
Yeah, certainly is an ideal, Machine. Curious trying to regain the concave that he had previously.
Well, a lot of Gatlings now though, but maybe a little bit too many of them, but either way, nice to see a bit more of an even mix. Having the ECM would certainly help for the deflection on the Scorpion rockets. Battle Bus has been mixed in now for Herb. This push, it took a little bit too long. Is he going to get focused down? No, he kites away in time. So it looks like Herb has defended. We'll have a lot of scrap as well for these Scorpions, chasing the very slow Battle Masters down. There's none of them left. Also, because they're vet too, a lot of veterancy is granted over. Battle Bus swooping in now with the Toxin Gamma. He does get busted into the shell, but killing the entire army.
Can you say brutal, Machine?
Well, I can say Helix Transition.
Yeah, you can say Helix Transition, yeah, and it's quite well done, because obviously the composition thus far from Herb isn't ideal against Helixes, though he hasn't been lax. There are at least a few quads out on the field and enough RPGs to give these Helixes pause of thought.
But it's also the Battle Master, not the Battle Master, the Battle Bus, especially with the Toxin Gamma. They track very effectively. They're very powerful. So you gotta be careful. On its own, he should be able to kill this one, but with a couple of quads there for support, he gets the Battle Bus down. Helixes do survive, so nicely played there, especially since they do splash. Now we have a nice flank with a Dragon Tank. Yeah, I think that push, it was slowed down by the garrisons, and secondly, if he went for the supply of the oil, it would have been a better play. So it was a bit of an all-in in terms of how far behind he is, and Herb having the 3 supply and the oil and the palace tech. I suppose Curious has the third supply as well, and the propaganda center, so he's not out of this game by any means. He's just going to have a much smaller army, because Herb didn't lose that much, just a few buildings.
Yeah, it really was just buildings, Machine. You have to remember, the actual cost of those tunnel networks is only 200 when you factor in the RPGs that you want anyway, so he only really lost, a couple of tunnel networks and a Stinger site. Really not that impactful. Herb had a masterful defense, I would call it. What's she doing?
Hello?
Not me. Herb had a really masterful defense, in my opinion. He displayed that extremely well.
We can pause if it's important.
Well, I don't think so. I think I'm good.
I mean,
So,
it's the advantage about recording YouTube videos is we can just pause. It's not like we're streaming.
Look, I mean, I've committed. I've turned my phone off machine.
True.
I'll be having none of those calls during my casting sessions, so
Well,
can't be that important. So
look at these RPGs.
It's pretty nuts, machine.
Helixes. There's a lot of quads there. There goes one of the battle bunker helixes. Speaking of bunkers, do you like bunkers, bro?
Bro, I'm a big fan of bunkers. Bunkers are what I'm all about. And there are certainly a few of them. However, how many
That's empty in the
tank
middle.
hunters do we see? There's a few, machine. There is a few.
Not many. That's what, 2? 2 in each, I think. More tank hunters are moving in. Battle bus was destroyed. The quads on their own aren't that effective, as the quads try to focus the tank hunters down. And a bit of a flank attack here from the battle masters with the Gatling tanks for support. Where did the arty strike go? Oh, the supply.
Yeah, it was onto the supply there. Sniping down a few of those workers as well, which is always pretty crucial. And this is a bit of a better army. Another good timing attack here from Curious. This time he's mixed in at least one ECM. Going to be really crucial when it comes to dealing with those RPGs and the Scorpion rockets. Lotus is out and the caps have started. Actually quite smart of Curious. He left a Battle Master on the oil derrick for Crushers. Obviously a Rebel isn't going to be able to deal with the Battle Master. By leaving that there, he ensured that he gets the first cap bonus onto that oil derrick and that Herb doesn't cap it. So he doesn't have to worry about that oil.
Jarman's on the field. A lot of Scorpions with their rockets. There's no troop crawler here for the recaps.
Jarman doesn't actually snipe the ECM here, machine.
Yeah, probably the best target would have been the ECM. Going in for the engagement now is Herb, trading 1 for 1. Maybe it's worth Curious going for Overlords. As long as he has, obviously, troop crawlers mixed in, but he will have the prop tower bonus. He'll have the extra range, so the Scorpions, they can't poke at the Overlords like they can with the Battle Masters. But again, is it worth going for the base when the third supply is a bit more vulnerable? Scorpions going in for the hit and run tactic with their rockets. Battle Masters are just going in for the kill. Armsealer would be the best target here, but still has to worry about the Jarman, who's now claimed 2 empty Battle Masters.
Again, it's going to be hit and run tactics with these Scorpions. They can't trade head to head with the Battle Masters. However, they certainly can just run in, fire the rockets and run out again, and just buy more time for Jarman snipes.
They have the autoloader upgrade, so they're very powerful here in this situation. The battle bus gets destroyed. Looks like this army's going to be too big here for Curious. He's wrecking a lot of the base of Herb. Toxin Rebel ambush! Gets try to crush it with the ECMs, but he actually didn't commit to it. Oh man, he loses his entire army, the Battle Masters, to the Toxin Rebel ambush. That is a broken ability we haven't casted in a while.
Oh, it is so nuts, machine. That was crazy. I was waiting for that from Herb. Where's this command center? He must have just finished it for the Toxin Rebel ambush to come out. So it's down the bottom there with next to the palace. Herb in a very defensible location, and Curious loses his entire army. That was just brutal.
How do you feel about this ECM mix?
I mean, it's not ideal, machine. I'll be honest here.
I don't know what he's doing
Not
with
the best counter.
He's just gonna get Jarman sniped and give away an ECM. Okay. Yeah, that Toxin Rebel ambush was weird though, because you see when the ECM was gonna crush it,
yeah,
and he probably would have crushed most of the army with their ECM, and then he stopped and went the other direction. If he crushed the rebels with the ECM that he committed to earlier, he would have taken out a fair bit of the rebels, I think. But a very nasty sneak attack in the base of Curious. China tanks a very slow army and an Anthrax bomb as well. Oh man.
Oh no, there's no dodge coming in. Curious is only just dodging. He wasn't ready for it. Ends up, he didn't actually lose the ECMs. I thought he was going to. No, there we go. The ECMs all go down. And this army, the China tank army is so slow to respond. One of the slowest in the game. Those Vet 2 Battle Masters are slow as heck. The command center is going to go down. We've already seen a War Factory fall here, as well as a Helix machine.
There was actually a Helix there. Maybe it was for the anti-sneak attack, but it didn't respond in time. Wasn't really in position, couldn't deny the sneak attack, and pops out the quads, the Scorpions. The army has finally recalled, but losing a considerable chunk of his base. And at the same time though, look at this, we got 2 Helixes with the battle bunkers, doing a bit of damage, gets a black market, I'm not sure what that was. And maybe the supplies. There is, however, a Stinger Sight and a GLA Overlord. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. See, I didn't even see Curious build an Overlord, but clearly the Jarman saw it, saving the snipe, and it already has the prop upgrade as well. Angry Mobs have started as well,
Look at
Machine.
this. He built a barracks in the base of Curious. He's going to have the very, very close range Angry Mobs, but here comes a quad pop. Gets the tunnel, but not focusing the quads in time. He will lose both his helixes here. Oh, man. GG.
GG, Herb wins.
So, he obviously didn't have a troop crawler near that Overlord. Man, that was a tough game for Herb, but he held on very well, and yeah, I think Curious should have just gone for the third supply.
Yeah.
Because obviously GLA's mobile, but they can just move their army around. But one of the big things that prevented the tanks from just steamrolling was the fact that there were so many tunnels, there were the stinger sites, there was those garrisons with the RPGs inside, so Curious had to avoid them and clear them out with the dragon tank. If you went for the third supply, there was no garrisons, there was maybe a couple of tunnels, but there wasn't any stingers. It would have had more of an impact. It would have been much easier to deny the supply.
And Curious played a really good game, and I think those timing attacks were brilliant. Herb just defended really well.
Yeah.
It maybe didn't choose the right locations for the attacks, because I still see that as a very strong attack. That China tank steamroll with all those Vet 2 Battle Masters and the gap mix in as well. Herb just defended it really well, but that could have worked out for Curious. A very strong attack, and then in conjunction with the second one that came in, this time having ECMs, and the only reason Herb managed to survive was due to Toxin Rebel Ambush. If it wasn't for Toxin Rebel Ambush, Herb would have lost the game, probably.
Yeah.
Straight out. He would have lost all his production at least. It would have been very hard for him to come back, but the Toxin Rebel Ambush comes up just in time, and he manages to defend again, and a really nice sneak attack.
Yeah, but Curious with better crushes, I think he could have been fine in that engagement. But also, it was a really nice sneak attack there because he knew the army was out of position, and you just can't defend that when your army is so slow. So maybe he should have had a couple more units in his base, and yeah, GLA support powers in some games they look really bad because you can't nuke down buildings, but in other games. And Fax Bomb and Sneak Attack seem like the most OP abilities in the game.
Man, they do work.
Yeah.
They certainly do work.
Well, great stuff here. So Herb is now, it's going to be 2-3 is the score.
Yep.
We don't have the scoreboard because we only have a few games left. This is, of course, the semi-finals. In our part 1 video, I actually said it was quarters. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Semi-finals.
We'll work it out and get into the next game. The dream. The dream machine.
You broke first.
The dream is real. I did break first, and therefore the intro is mine. Here we are.
Intro is mine.
Can't insert evil laugh here because I can't do one. I mean, look at me. I'm too cool of a guy to do an evil laugh. Hopefully, though, our players are not too nice of guys, not to absolutely kill and murder each other in this, the numero 6 game in our series between Herb and Curious. Curious is currently up 3-2 in the series.
He is indeed. He's going to be the China tank, and Herb, he was the super weapon general. So super weapon, I think, is actually not bad against tank because they're very reliant on those tanks, obviously, or vehicles. But EMP Patriots are fantastic against vehicles. Whereas against GLAs, for example, you just lose them to tech terrors and mass RPGs. But as the China tank, it's a bit harder to do that. Looks like we have a very forward factory here from Curious. It would have been scouted out by the spy drone, and hence it's not lucky, it's not a coincidence that Herb is rushing out this EMP Patriot.
Yeah, it's a good play. So it's a smart move from Curious going for this forward war factory. The idea behind it is world's fastest dragon tank, or alternatively GAT harassment, but I'd say like there's probably an 80-20 chance favoring the dragon tank here to come out, but the EMP Patriot is going to counter either one that comes out from this war factory. I'm going to say 80-20.
Oh!
What? Oh, damn, son. Damn, that's next level. That's like the counter to the counter. So there was also a 2% chance that Curious is a god and he'd know there was going to be an EMP Patriot there. There's a 2% chance that Curious is a god, and I'm going to go with that. Curious is a god.
He's getting juked out on the troop crawler there. So he's going for the Patriot now. There's actually a Dozer moving, and Dozer's very good at crushing Red Guard because of the bullet resistance. So he's actually splitting up now, going for the Dozer instead. He can probably get it too. Actually, maybe not here. Nice defense there from the Dozer. See, look at this. Herb, his attack grounding the ground to prevent the Patriot from killing and disabling his own dozer.
This game is already amazing, Machine. This is already my favorite game.
Your favorite game ever.
Already my favorite game ever. This is
Trooper corner, round 2.
round 2. Fight!
Fight!
It's super cool, insane music here, and Herb isn't going to go for the crush the second time. However, will this Humvee get in time? I don't think so. The MP Patriot finally falls, as will the Rangers.
Meanwhile, we've been tunnel visioning a little bit here because there's a double oil cap for Curious. 2 Humvees are on the way here for Herb. This is a very undefended supply. But at the same time, so is this from Herb. Building a barracks, looking to get some flashbangs out. Good if you get the units from being destroyed.
Yeah, definitely no money in the bank for Curious to be going for mines at this stage. Investing in the capture upgrade, having to go for a double troop crawl and able to deal with the MP Patriot. He really doesn't have, he don't have time for that, man. This is a dangerous push though. Hellfire drones are good, and I love this gap from Curious. Gatlings are going to be awesome because the scary damage coming out from these Vs are the Hellfire drones.
Dozer will go down here. Patriot can't quite finish. Humvee's doing some good work though. That being said, there's going to be tank hunters and a Gatling tank for defense. And there's just too much income here. There's 2 oils, there's 3 supplies. Didn't even get the supply center. He got the trucks instead. Herb looking like he's out of this tournament. He has a full Humvee though. How good is his kiting going to be? There's no ambo here for the repairs. Isn't mining any supplies either.
It's one of the crucial problems with this map, Machine. Both the supplies can be easily covered by Gatling tanks anywhere near the area. Certainly could be the end of the game here. So many Red Guard in the area. The Humvees are going to have to deal with that. Second dozer, that's the last dozer, Machine. The dozer could go down. The Humvees have been cleaned up from Curious. He's dealt with them. I think Herb's out of this game. Curious has played insane.
There wasn't any flashbangs. Herb instead going for missile defenders, wanting to laser lock down the Gatling tanks. There was an EMP Patriot over here, but that won't help him very much. He's kiting out the infantry, so he's holding off, but with this much income, Curious can just keep spamming out Gatling tanks.
Lost.
Absolutely non-stop production here, Machine. And these troop crawlers are amazing. The Humvees don't have Search and Destroy buying so much time. It takes them ages to actually kill these Red Guard, and that means the Gatling tanks are still over the supplies, and the whole time, Herb isn't actually binding anything.
He's kiting into the EMP Patriot. One of the Humvees gets taken out though. That was the one full of missile defenders, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was. It was only 1 missile defenders. Gatling tanks, troop crawlers marching in. Herb, my friend, you have been eliminated.
Herb
Curious now.
out of the tournament.
Yeah, so Curious, that means he's going to be playing in the grand final. And Herb will be playing for the 3rd place game between Rob. It was Rob and Herb, I think. I have the replays, don't I?
But do you have the replays?
Yeah, I do. See, it's Herb vs Rob.
Yeah,
there you go. Spoiler alert. Whoa. Yeah. So that was a pretty great series.
It was, yeah. And that last game was amazing. So I take it back. There was probably like a 70% chance it was going to be a Dragon tank, a 20% chance that it was going to be a Gatling tank, and then a 10% chance Curious is an absolute mad dog, and he's like, yeah, I know you saw my dozer. I know you think I'm going to go for a war factory, so instead of going for something your MP Patriot counters, I'm going to go for the counter and build a troop crawler. That's just genius play.
Nice crushes with the dozer. I think the problem there, the Humvee was too late. Dude, I don't know why it took him so long to get that Humvee out, but he didn't have the Humvee until a very long time. He built maybe a bit too many Patriots. He had another one up north for some reason, didn't really do too much. So, yeah, good pressure being applied there by Curious, and he will move on now. So thank you for watching. It's been a great series thus far. This video was a bit shorter than the last, of course, only being 2 videos. But if you've enjoyed our content, then do consider a backing on Patreon to keep fueling the rapid pace of content that we have happening here over at General Gentleman Headquarters. So other than that, make sure you followed us on Twitter and Facebook, because I do a lot of streams now lately, and I always post them on there. So that's the best way to watch these videos live. We don't do the casting live, but I just do random plays, or play some games on 0 Hour Online and such.
All sorts of fun things going on in the streaming life. So yeah, thank you for joining us, guys.
Yeah.